Idiotic woman arrested for threatening Jamaican-born judge. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. A Texas woman was arrested and has been charged with threatening to kill the Jamaican-born U.S. federal judge who is overseeing the criminal case against former President Donald Trump in Washington and a member of Congress. Abigail Jo Shry of Alvin, Texas, called the federal courthouse in Washington and left the threatening message using a racist term for U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan. In the call, Shry told the judge who is overseeing the election conspiracy case against Trump, "You are in our sights. We want to kill you," the document said. Prosecutors allege Shry also said if Trump doesn't get elected in 2024, "We're coming to kill you," and she threatened to kill U.S. Representative Sheila Jackson Lee, a black Texas Democrat running for mayor of Houston, according to court documents. And this maggot is now being held in detention pending trial, according to court documents, and a bond hearing has now been set for September 13. Over in Jamaica, Senator Peter Bunting has launched an attack against Prime Minister Andrew Holness for failing to take responsibility for rising crime on the island. Mr. Bunting was speaking with reporters on Wednesday afternoon as he and other members of the parliamentary opposition toured sections of Walker's Avenue in Gregory Park in Portmore and St. Catherine and met with residents who are affected by Saturday's terror attack. He said the Prime Minister is to be blamed for the wanton murders taking place, as he had campaigned that he would solve crime, and he's now there for 5 years and has done nothing. "He is responsible for the safety and security of the people in this country," Mr. Bunting said. He was on every political platform across Jamaica saying that the JLP had the answer and they would do better. 60 people were murdered in the first 12 days of August in this country, Mr. Bunting said. The police high command is reporting that 3 of the more than a dozen persons of interest being sought in connection with Saturday's arson and terror attack on residents of Walker's Avenue in Gregory Park, St. Catherine have been captured. The men were detained on Wednesday during a series of operations by members of the security force. SSP Lindsay said the persons of interest are being questioned as the police continue their investigations. She said the security force will maintain a presence in the area in a bid to reassure residents. Some 47 people, including 27 children, were left homeless when armed men invaded Walker's Avenue and torched 11 houses. A taxi operator was also shot to death in that incident. Acting Chief Education Officer Dr. Kaysan Trope said that the Ministry of Education is continuing efforts to assist children with special needs, and there have been concerns that schools across the country have not been fitted with the necessary infrastructure to assist students with disabilities, particularly those who use a wheelchair. But speaking at Wednesday's post-cabinet briefing, Dr. Trope said that the concerns are being addressed. She promised that no child or parent who reaches out for assistance will be turned back. The St. James Police have seized 2 more illegal guns. The weapons were seized on Wednesday during an operation at the retirement dump. The cops seized a Mach 11 submachine gun and a Glock 9mm pistol. Superintendent Ern Samuels, acting head of the St. James Police, said that the weapons were seized as part of an anti-crime initiative code-named Operation Surge. He said 11 illegal guns, including 3 rifles, have been seized under Operation Surge, which began last Tuesday and will run for 14 days. A 7-year-old boy was among 3 people who were shot in an attack in St. Anne on Wednesday night. One of the victims later died of his injuries. He's 22-year-old Akeem Webb, otherwise called Bucky. And it's reported that about 9 p.m., a group of people were playing dominoes at a shop in the community of Pink Lane in Lewis District in St. Anne when the power went out. Shortly after the power went out, a man wearing a hoodie walked up and fired several shots in the direction of the gathering. The boy and 2 of the victims, including a 19-year-old, were shot. The child was shot in the thigh while the other victims were shot in the head. A St. Catherine businessman was charged after he allegedly used a firearm to threaten a woman and her 10-year-old son during a dispute in Mizpah in Glengarth in the parish. The incident reportedly happened between Friday, August 11 and Saturday, August 12. Charged with assault at common law using a firearm to commit a felony, illegal use of a firearm, and malicious destruction of property is 51-year-old Kenrick Ferguson of Glengarth in the parish. Reports from the Linstead Police are that Ferguson, who is a licensed firearm holder, and the complainant had a dispute. During the fracas, he allegedly used his firearm to threaten the complainant as well as her 10-year-old son. Ferguson allegedly then proceeded to damage the complainant's Toyota Corolla motor car. The police were summoned and Ferguson was arrested. He was later charged, however, his court date is not yet finalized. Meanwhile, one of Westmoreland's most wanted, who was on bail and living in St. Elizabeth, was shot to death on Wednesday evening during a reported confrontation with the police. His name is Vivian Godfrey, also known as Klansman. The police recovered an illegal firearm and several rounds of ammunition. And it's reported that the police were in the Malvern area conducting an operation when they were confronted by Godfrey, who shot at the police. A shootout ensued and Godfrey was shot. He was out on bail for murder by the Westmoreland Parish Court. He later relocated to Malvern. And this is the second most wanted man from Westmoreland who was killed during a confrontation with the security forces in St. Elizabeth this month. The last Westmoreland most wanted was Nicholas Rubin, otherwise called Evil Lord, who was cut down by police on August 3rd. But as soon as police kill one, another one just takes its place. Onto sports, England moved on to its first Women's World Cup Championship game with a 3-1 victory Wednesday over co-host Australia, ending the Matildas' captivating run throughout the tournament. Australia superstar Sam Kerr started her first match of the tournament and scored for the Matildas, but it wasn't enough to hold off the European champion England. England will now face Spain in the Women's World Cup final for the first time when they meet at Stadium Australia on Sunday, and it will be the first all-European final since 2003. Australia will play Sweden for third place tomorrow in Brisbane. Meanwhile, track and field two-time national women's sprint double champion Shericka Jackson has given clear indication that she has her sights set on winning the double at the World Athletics Championship in Budapest this weekend. Jackson was speaking at a J3A Puma press conference in Budapest yesterday, told reporters that the odds of her winning the double this championship are good. While Jackson will start favorite to retain her 200 meters title, she faces a tough 100 meter field that will include 5-time winner and teammate Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, who is there and going to be running that 100 meters. We have Marie-Jose Talou from the Ivory Coast, as well as American champion Sha'Carri Richardson. And of course, you know that Sha'Carri Richardson is running very well. Anyway, if you ever miss the news and sports on this radio station, please go to YouTube, type in Jamaican Undiluted News, listen, like, share, and subscribe to keep it going. That's going to be news and sports on your favorite radio. My name is Mikey Bones. I gone.